to ThunderamaDome!
You are now entering ThunderamaDome. Podcasting the thunder of domes.
Let there be ThunderamaDome. This is our first episode, and I'm the man on the silver screen mountain. I'm Hollywood Nate, and I currently work in the television industry as a post-producer.
And it's me, Joel.
Today's show, if you've ever watched a movie with dialogue sounding like this,
It's no good to take it to the DA if we don't have steel-plated proof. What the hell is steel-plated proof? Witnesses that balk? Evidence that comes apart? Rat tape that strangles you? I'm tired of putting up with that shit!
chances are you've been watching a 1970s Italian cop and gangster film genre called Poliziotteschi or something like that. I'm not really sure if I know how to say it correctly. I definitely don't know how to spell it. So we're going to call it by its other name, Eurocrime.
Who the hell are you?
And we're going to give you a quick little history and background on what this whole film genre is about and why it's so awesome and so balls to the wall insane. Then we're going to break into our segment piece, which is called Beyond ThunderamaDome. And we're going to ask you what your most haunting film deaths are. We will also check in with our wallets on our Spendovision piece and find out what is actually worth spending our money on these days.
You know how much that stuff costs. Where do I get the bread?
And we're going to do all of that before we get to the main event of this podcast, which is the discussion of two films.
Ruggero Deodato's Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. And Enzo G, Castellari's Street Life.
So strap in. This is ThunderamaDome, Episode 1, Eurocrime and
Punishment. Yay!
So let's get to it. What is Eurocrime?
What is it? What are we talking about?
We're talking about the greatest thing ever that maybe some people out there haven't heard about.
Welcome.
And if you do, you must be cooler than us.
Or older. That doesn't mean you're not cooler just because you're older. Or Italian.
It could be
That
Italian.
could be two strikes against you, actually.
Oh, damn it. Well, two strikes or not, if you're a fan of action and crime films, then it's time to rejoice because this is like Christmas morning. You've opened every single gift. You're sitting around the Christmas tree, everything.
All the kids have eaten the oranges out of their stockings.
Wasn't that the worst? There'd be that big lump at the end of your stocking, and you'd be like, what is it? But you're excited, you're fulfilled, and then all of a sudden, your dad or your mom has that gleam in their eye.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, psst, I got one more for you.
Stop calling me.
Santa hid this gift back here, and it's called Eurocrime, and it's wrapped in bloody butcher paper and lingerie, and it's something
It's the Red Ryder BB gun.
It's the Red Ryder BB gun, exactly.
If you don't shoot your eye out, these movies will.
These movies might actually shoot both your eyes out because they got lots of blood, lots of violence, lots of sex, lots of lots.
Yeah, it's got it all.
It's got it all.
It's got too much.
It does have too much because we're gonna have to run a little bit of a disclaimer on it a little bit later on the show. But since we don't want to start off on the wrong foot here,
Right.
let's talk about the trademarks of a Eurocrime film. What are they?
Well, content-wise, you're usually talking about one man against the system, one cop against the mafia, one semi-good gangster against the whole corrupt evil gang, one secret elite police squad versus the Legion of Doom.
Basically, criminals getting away with everything because the cops' hands are tied. The bureaucracy of the police departments, the legal loopholes, the laws bending for criminals and not for the
Red
cops.
tape that strangles you! You know what else? A lot of purse snatchings in these movies, especially ones that end badly. Then you got heads through glass, torturing, lots of blood, super punches, and here's an interesting one. Piss torture.
What?
Just when you thought your home invasion couldn't get any worse, you get pissed off. The look of these films were gritty, natural light, handheld, mostly location shooting, lots of oneers and zooms.
Love them.
And of course, the biggest trademark of these films, all the dialogue was looped or redubbed.
And when you watch these movies, you're going to see rubbery lips compared to the words coming out of them, like the sync is off. Sometimes just a bit, sometimes a lot. And here's why. Time was money, especially on a film set. And these movies, they didn't have these epic budgets. They needed to make their days, damn it.
Right, you can move a heck of a lot faster when sound isn't a priority.
Yeah, and these film crews would record what they call dirty tracks, and those were used as guide tracks for the actors or dubbers to record later on an actual soundstage.
You didn't even have everyone speaking English in these things. Some of them did, but the others are speaking Italian or Spanish or German or just counting off numbers and letting the dubbers figure it out later.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how to count it.
That was exactly it.
That was how they did. Yeah, but moving on to the impact Hollywood had on the popular film industry in Italy.
Right. Any big genre hit here was immediately copied over in Italy,
Right, yeah.
and then they just churned them out as quickly and cheaply as they could.
They would just do it to death until the genre almost imploded on itself. But one of the best ways to try and ensure a hit,
When in Rome, do as the Americans do.
these Italian filmmakers really wanted these movies to be big hits in America, so they cast American actors a lot of the time. And if you've seen Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this factors into the plot of the movie with the whole Al Pacino trying to court Leo DiCaprio into Italian films.
Rick fucking Dalton.
The best. And it's explained a whole lot better there than we can do here. But unfortunately, the tragedy of Eurocrime is most people don't know about these movies. They never heard of it.
I mean, you only found out about them through that documentary that Amazon recommended.
This amazing documentary is called Eurocrime, with an exclamation point. The Italian cop and gangster films that ruled the 70s, and filmmaker Mike Malloy did such a fantastic job on this documentary. It's the perfect starter kit to get you on your way down Eurocrime Road.
You know, just to summarize it quickly, this is the ultimate movie documentary, at least for this genre especially.
I think it's the only documentary on this genre.
This is one of the better educational movie documentaries that I've ever seen. It's fun and it's interesting, but it also teaches you a lot about how the genre started, what got it going, and all the little
when you said fun, it didn't sound very fun. You just said it like fun.
It was fun.
Fun. There you go. Yeah. No, hey, this documentary is great, and I highly recommend going out of your way to see this because I really think you're going to end up liking these movies a lot more if you watch it ahead of time. But the one thing I took away from this as well, and it's something I want to talk about here today, there's, they show these different clips that are violent, and there's a segment in it that talks about the excessive violence, and they show this horrific death.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that even begins to describe that death.
And I don't know if I want to describe it, at least not yet. But it made me think about what a most haunting film death is.
Explain.
So think about some film death that you watched, and let me preface it with, it doesn't have to be gory. It can be any death. But I want to talk about this film, if it resonated with you.
I think that's the one we're all thinking right now.
Which one?
My Girl.
Oh, yeah, it was sad. It was sad, but, and I don't want to go out being stung to death by bees as well. But I do think it's like some death that for whatever reason, it stuck with you and you can't get it out of your mind and you just don't want to go out like that. And I think
can't see without his glasses.
And we all have one or two, but let's talk about it. Like, Joel, what's your most haunting film death?
Okay, there's this semi-obscure Italian...
Oh, here we are going Italian.
No, I'm sorry, it's French.
Oh, that's a little different.
Yeah. French horror film called Martyrs. And I can't describe too much because it sort of gives away the plot. But this girl stumbles upon this society of people that are pursuing some greater knowledge. So they end up locking her in a room in a basement somewhere and basically just beating the shit out of her for weeks and months. It's more emotionally brutal, although it's pretty hard to watch. But in their pursuit of this specific knowledge, I guess the goal is to get someone to reach a level of what's the word?
I think they're trying to figure out if the person is French or Italian, because they don't know. Joel doesn't remember. And they're trying, are you French or Italian?
I don't think anybody knows.
No.
When they decide the time is right, they take her into another room and they flay her alive.
Oof.
And that's to reach this level of transcendentalization.
Wait, them or for her?
For her, because she's supposed to have. If you get tortured that much, you're supposed to like be able to maybe see the other side, right? And so yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But basically, her character ends with her skin off her body.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then she drank lemonade and she spilled it.
Yeah, then they made her cut lemons for the party.
Throw some salt on her. Dry out. That sounds terrible.
I'd rather go out by bees.
So here's mine. And let me do the first few, and then I'll get to the one that actually made me think of this thing in the first place. You know, as a kid, Jaws, Quint's death, the whole thing with the boat being upended as Jaws just waits there chomping, and Quint starts to slip, and the shoes are like squeaking as he falls down, and then he goes.
I feel like that's like trying to get the last ice cube out of a cup.
Yeah, my gosh, the Quint cube. But it was super visual and haunting, and those black eyes and the bloody scream, and the way he just goes underwater, and Roy Schreider's there by himself. It was just. That stuck with me, and I can't think of every time I go in the ocean, it seems to kind of pop in my mind somewhere. Another one that I remember in the movie theater that I thought was really creepy was Saving Private Ryan, when the Jewish soldier guy gets that knife through his chest like it's warm butter, and he does that little...
Wait.
Oh, gosh, I hate it. You remember it.
Oh,
and he does that little like squiggle, like
No.
the death shake, and maybe it was so bad too because that guy could have saved him, but he was too much of a yeah. So that one, I love that you remembered that. That one just I was so haunted after that film.
The pleading where he thought maybe he could talk his way out. That really
it was rough,
and the guy's sweat dripping on his face,
and it was slow. It was the slow kind of damn, dude, it was terrible. But the one that actually made me think of this most haunted thing, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Andy Serkis's death when he's fighting off all the insects. There's this massive insect fight. I don't like bugs. I actually probably think I don't like being eaten. So maybe that's what it's going on. But
you're one of those.
I'm one of those guys. But man, he goes up against these giant
tortellini death,
wormy, orificey kind of anus mouth things but they have all these sharp teeth on them, and he's fighting them, and this thing just kind of like thumps like over his head.
Slurp.
Yeah, slurp, and it like envelops his whole face slowly, just kind of like sinks on it, like it hats his whole head, and you can hear him go like trying to scream inside of it, and he's getting eaten and slurped to death. And it's head first, slow eating deaths,
suffocating and being digested at the same time.
It's not a good combo.
Again, give me the bees.
You know, this question fascinates me, and I think it's a really interesting topic. So, I wanted to ask some of the people I work with what their most haunting film deaths were. So I did.
I was much younger. I was 8 or 9, maybe even 7. Watched it with my sister, my cousins. Scared the shit out of me. It literally did. Because after the shower scene especially, I was scared to death of even looking at a shower. Probably went a couple weeks without showering.
I envision you as Pigpen with this big cloud kind of going around.
Well, it was also in the summer though, so I did go to the swimming pool quite a bit.
Meet Brock Hammett. He's an editor. And you can probably guess which film he's talking about. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Now, there's probably only a handful of movies where you can mention a single word and know exactly what film the person is talking about. The scene is that iconic and traumatizing. So much so, Brock didn't even want to step inside the bathroom because in that bathroom, there was a shower.
I just happened to glance in the mirror and catch a tiny little reflection of the shower, and it brought back all these terrifying moments from the shower scene. I tried to get the urine out as quickly as possible, and as a result, ended up shitting my pants. I then, instead of cleaning myself, ran out of the bathroom, and my cousin's mom just arrived in our driveway to pick me up for the day. And so I hung out with my cousin with a log in my pants all day. And that is absolutely a true story.
And no shower.
No, and no shame.
So what is a haunting film death? Some answers don't need much explanation. Here's Adam Radford.
The Shining. Dick Halloran's running through the hallways, and Jack just buries an axe into his chest.
And other times you get answers like this one from Evie Briones, The Lion King.
Well, obviously, Mufasa is quite traumatizing. It's mainly just the reaction afterwards where it's so quiet. There's no movement. Sometimes they try to make a big moment out of death. And in this particular case, he was just not moving. And then, of course, you get Simba's big eyes and the dad.
The fear of losing someone you love is a haunting thought. And unfortunately, it is a reality in life. But in cinema, we can also have vivid, unrealistic deaths, like being eaten by giant tortellini worms. And thankfully, deaths like these won't ever come to pass. We hope.
I saw Starship Troopers much earlier than I should have. One of the characters basically gets an alien, like, spike penetrated into the top of his skull, and it has his brain sucked out. And he's going, oh! And the sound of the suction and everything. And I remember seeing that when I was like 10. I'm like, this is horrifying. And I have nightmares over that image.
Thank you, Matthew Jensen, because now I will too. And with a question like this, you're always going to have the horror movies, slasher deaths. This is Caitlin Tyler telling me hers.
Scream. It was the Rose McGowan death, and she goes to escape and opens the garage door, but then he stops it, and so she goes and tries to like get under it, and then gets like stuck like in there's like a little doggy door in the like garage door, and she gets stuck, and then she rises up and gets squished, and it really scared me.
Do they make doggy doors in garage doors?
I have no idea. I don't know why they even had that. And that's what was so scary, because like you see her like coming out and she's just like, why'd you even try? You can't get your head through there.
It seems there's a recurring theme here. Watching violent and over-the-top film deaths at too young of an age can sometimes leave behind a scar. But this scar, it's kind of like a rite of passage. These stories are like badges. The I survived type of pride. Or in Brock Hammett's case, the I shit my pants type of pride. But cinematic deaths do one thing more effectively than anything else. They remind us of our mortality, especially when they hit close to home. Here's Tana Plingpawat telling us hers.
Boys in the Hood, and it's a scene where Ricky is walking down the alley. I think that was the first time I actually saw someone get shot just like that, and it was just so dramatic, and I was like so taken back by it, and it made me cry. And after I saw that scene, I was like, I can't watch this movie ever again. It was just like...
Still?
Yeah.
Never?
Yeah.
The whole movie?
The whole movie, yeah. I was just like, it's too sad, because I know it's about to happen. I know when it's going to happen. I mean, maybe also because I'm like from LA, and I was like... I know a lot of people in those areas, and I was just like, this is real, and they're actually showing it. Like, this is crazy to me.
I think what's most interesting is everybody has an answer, and you never really know what it's going to be. But getting an answer back like the one you're about to hear from Christina Wilde-Zumas, it's something I never would have even guessed, because it's not actually a film death. It's something that, for me, being a male and watching, definitely disturbed me. But it didn't linger with me like it did for Christina. And it was her unique perspective on this that made the horrors and impact of screen violence really stand out for me.
What comes to mind, being a woman, not that the deaths haven't affected me, but more so some of the sexual assaults that have happened in movies and TV shows that I've watched over the years have really stuck with me. From The Sopranos, when the psychiatrist character, Dr. Malfi, is raped by a thug in a parking garage. And I just remember thinking, like, how horrific that is. You know, as a woman, you do think about these things day to day, walking by yourself, you know, whether or not you're in a safe neighborhood, stuff happens. And Brienne Larson in Room, something about being held captive in a home, raped repeatedly, and not being able to get out. And now you've got a child on top of it. That's horrific. That haunts me more than somebody taking a knife to the chest or a bullet to the brain, or, you know, some alien crazy thing.
So what is your most haunting film death? Think about it. Whatever your answer may be, the subject matter opens us up. We're all gonna die. And although we don't know how we will pass or plunge into the night, films give us a morbid peek into this arena. And hopefully out of something grisly or tragic, these conversations give us a chance to bond with someone and maybe even experience a new point of view. we can confront our childhood fears by comparing scars and laughing over them. And it's a chance to turn fear into something positive. And that is one of the best gifts a haunting film death can leave us with. Hey, I hope that left you on an uplifting note, even though it was a downer subject. Well, here's another downer subject for you. We're not at the main event yet. We're going to give you another segment instead. Give it to me, Joel.
If you like to buy stuff you really don't need, so do we. Get ready for Spendovision.
Hey, this is Spendovision. We're going to make this a quick departure from our program. There is a renaissance going on right now in Eurocrime, and this is a great time to be a fan. So many amazing companies giving these gritty little crime films a shave and a haircut so they can get on that red carpet. So let's get started. The Criterion Channel started 2023 off with a highlighting the most talented director to come out of Eurocrime, Fernando De Leo. And if you want to own any of his films, Ruggero Video's already got you covered. 2 Blu-ray box sets, beautiful transfers, and Volume 1 has probably the greatest movie in this genre, Caliber 9. This is a crime story fit for the ages. I think it's got one of the best antagonist and protagonist relationships I've seen recently. Give this film a watch. Any vinyl lovers out there? Go buy Cam Sugar's and Decca Records release, Piumbo, Italian crime soundtracks from the years of lead. And I may have sounded like a dumbass for saying it that way, but I don't care because this is the melody of blackened hearts tempered with the disco soul, a double shot of funk and jive. This is like a 101 class into the composers and score of that time. So get your groove onto it. More Blu-rays coming at you. We got a box set from Arrow Video called Rogue Cops and Racketeers. This focuses on director Enzo G Castellari and stars pretty boy Fabio Testi. I'm telling you right now, this is a must-own if you like crime or action films. Loads of fun, shootouts, violence, revenge. Arrow also put out another hefty Eurocrime box set called The Years of Lead. Also called Years of Lead, there you go. Some hidden treasures here. Give that a spin too. We're almost done. Bear with us. Grindhouse releasing. Man, they shoved a peanut butter and jam-packed Blu-ray down my throat, and I loved it. Their Blu-ray release of The Tough Ones from director Umberto Lenzi and starring the amazing Maurizio Merli.
In my opinion, this is damn silly.
If you watch the Eurocrime documentary I kept blabbing about earlier, you're gonna know why these two guys are so damn important to the genre.
If there's one thing I can't stand in life, it's cynicism. Especially in today's kids.
Grindhouse did their homework here with this release. They even got the director of the Eurocrime documentary, Mike Malloy, to do commentary on this. How cool is that? And I'm pretty sure you're going to fall in love with Maurizio Merli as Inspector Tanzi.
That's what's important.
And if you stick around to the very end of this podcast, you'll know why.
Well, I think that's enough for now.
And last but not least, at the time of this podcast release, Severin is putting out a giant 8-disc box set called Violent Streets, a collection focusing on Umberto Lenzi and Thomas Milan's films, which include the infamous Almost Human. You might feel a little trashy watching this one, but that's okay. No judgment here. And you got a whole bunch of other movies, including the return of Maurizio Merli as Inspector Tanzi in The Cynic, The Rat, and The Fist. Crazy title.
No, don't be a ball breaker.
But Severin has been doing a great job teasing this all over social media, so you bet your sweet ass I pre-ordered this, and I can't wait to bring it on home. Happy spending, film fans, and thank you for listening to ThunderamaDome's Spendovision.
And we're back. Hopefully you're still with us.
It's that part of the show that we told you about earlier. It is the time we give you the disclaimer.
Drum roll, please.
And unfortunately, we need to talk about the role of women in these films. Not great. It's
not good.
But it's something we would like to talk about just because if this is our flagship show, I feel it's our responsibility to at least warn you. There is a little bit of ugliness.
The elephant in the room.
First and foremost, the role of females in these films, hard to find. I mean, it is.
They're as skimpy as the clothes they walked in on.
They aren't there to actually do anything for the plot. They're just
kind of frosting on the cake a little bit.
Frosting on the cake, just to give you some entertainment. And also, I think the way the women are portrayed in these films are obviously from a male perspective, and they really have no concept of the dynamics that go into relationship or like male-female mating patterns.
After seeing a handful of films from that era that seemed to be semi-dominant, where even prominent filmmakers like Clint Eastwood had,
even in America, right?
Right, just the way they filled those roles were as superfluous as it could get, but often, if not directly rapey, semi-rapey. I don't know. It was always kind of weird where it seemed like they had to make a point that the women are just waiting for it. And I don't know if that had something to do with the culture back then. I haven't done any research on it, but it sure is interesting.
It is interesting, and I think it's the main thing is just the uncomfortableness of watching these scenes play out.
Right. Like the guy smacks the girl and she falls over and then he lays on her and kisses her and she's totally into it.
Yes.
It's so unrealistic and so awkward and hard to.
It's awful, and we just want to bring it up that if know your limits, we just want to be forthcoming.
We want you to know that we know.
Yes.
That we noticed it.
And look, and I was uncomfortable in a lot of these things.
I've also think I've come up with a bit of a solution. I think we need an all-female remake of each one of these movies where they smack the men around and then
live like a cop, die like a woman, man. That would be way better.
Yeah, I think
smacking the men around. They need it.
I think we're on the path.
That's your disclaimer. Moving on.
Boom.
ThunderamaDome.
We have reached the pinnacle of our show. It is main event time. A double feature that we put together and said, partake. But first, just listen. Ruggero Deodato passed away at the end of last year. This episode's dedicated to him and his memory. This is Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man.
Roberto Pasquini, alias BB.
Has he an address for Pasquini?
No one has an address for that son of a bitch.
Phallocracy.
Fallow what?
That means keeping women in their proper place with a stiff rod.
When you were tested for the special squad, every test revealed that your basic traits are criminal.
But that's what you need to fight crime.
What do you drink, Mona? You should lay off. Alcoholics die.
Police.
What?
Don't shoot! I surrender! Where is Roberto Pasquini?
And then it's time for Enzo G. Castellari's Street Life.
Don't anybody move! This is a holdup! I'm tired of trusting people with my life who don't give a damn. Tired of being a docile, good citizen.
You finished shouting?
No! I've just started to shout.
Why the hell do you want to go through with it?
Why the hell did you become a crook? Come on out, shitface! Or your friends are gonna!
Do something! They're gonna kill me!
Tommy, run! We are going to open the biggest garage of all time. There will be a beautiful waiting room and you will have a place for snacks. What do you think, partner?
Joel, start us off with Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man.
Directed by Ruggero Deodato and written by Fernando De Leo. A secret and elite squad for Rome's police department has a license to kill when it comes to stopping crime. And man oh man, do these two buddy cops enjoy their jobs. Alfredo and Antonio, played by Mark Porrell and Ray Lovelock, have been recruited by the department because they're sociopaths and are as committed to making the bad guys suffer as they are entertaining themselves from the resulting carnage. They ruthlessly hunt a criminal mastermind named my favorite bad guy name of all time, Pasquini.
Pasquini.
He sounds terrifying. Pasquini has evaded the law due to the help of a mole within the department. And when I just watched it and I didn't know any of this. And when a fellow officer gets killed outside their headquarters, all bets are off. If these two cops aren't murdering criminals before they even get the chance to commit the crimes, then they're torturing them and laughing about it. Nothing can stop them from tracking down Pasquini. Except, of course, if there's a good-looking lady around. Because the only thing more important than killing is some quick sex. And when their swath of bloodshed and soiled sheets leads them to Pasquini's secret hideout, they're unprepared for the final showdown. So thank goodness they have their fairy god boss looking out for them.
If I had to describe this movie to someone, besides it being schizophrenic and absolutely bonkers at times, I'd say it's like Lethal Weapon meets American Psycho meets Dumb and Dumber. It's just all over the place, this film. It has no sense of what it is, and you don't know to take it serious half the time, and maybe that's why it's also so fun.
Well, I think you're onto something there, but I actually read somewhere that this is the unofficial sequel to Big, the Tom Hanks movie. And this time around, both Josh and his buddy turn into adults, and somehow they fail their way upwards into this elite crime-fighting squad and have no idea what to do with themselves.
They've played too many violent video games at home, and they acted out.
Or not enough. I think they need more time to grow.
It's the tone. I mean, it's really the tone of this film that is weird because, from what I've read, it comes from Ruggero Deodato's direction. He states that he actually tried to make it lighthearted, if you can believe that, to soften the violence throughout the film. And to me, I'm not totally sure it works. It's hard to take seriously, but it definitely works for a unique viewing experience. And probably, I would say definitely, this is one of the most fun times I've ever had watching a film.
The attempt to make it lighthearted is what gives it its socio/psychopathic feeling, where you're not sure how to feel about these guys because they're kind of playing it for laughs, little violent, little fun. They're just two adorable dudes cruising down the street on their scooters.
We wanted to watch a film that lived up to this amazing title, and I think it does.
It absolutely does. And I was thinking about it. It sort of comes down, the script, there's basically no script, just fight, kill, whatever. But the lead of this movie is the directing.
I'm not going to debate you, but how so? I mean, like,
it starts off great, kind of like Street Law. It has an intense chase scene, which with some pretty interesting and unique shots, some handheld footage and stuff like that, where you actually feel like you're a part of the action. It felt fresh.
Yeah.
And that really was sort of the best part of the movie was the action. It moved. There were scenes like just the little fights, little slap fights.
Great.
The way he directed and they edited these fights actually had some momentum to them, and I was impressed. I was totally impressed.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot going on.
So for something so thin, like such a bare bones story, he managed to get something out of it. And I also think, and this might be a little bit more controversial, but I think the actors were pretty solid. If they were supposed to be sociopaths, they nailed it.
They're mean-spirited, and they're just doing everything that you would never see a cop doing.
They're 14-year-old boys.
Yes, they are jocks
with guns,
picking on everybody, laughing about it. But give me the quick hit on it, Joel. Like, what do you think about this?
Ultimately, this is the type of film that is amazing to watch with some beers and some friends. I mean, it will only heighten the movie because I loved watching it with you, but seeing it I have to come clean. The second time I watched it, it was with Italian dubbed versus American dubbed. And I do honestly feel like it added a little bit of weight to the whole thing. It was still silly. It was still the movie that it was, but it just felt a little bit more serious and not quite as cartoony as I remembered it the first time.
Well, maybe that's because you were required to do some work while you're watching this thing. You
but
I have to read it versus just hearing it.
Either way, it's a pretty cool movie. These movies were made for the theater, and some of the films really play to that strength, more so than others.
I totally agree. When I rewatched it again for this podcast, it was good. But, I think it lost a touch of the magic, just a little bit, not much. But I do think this is the type of film that plays well with others because it's just so many bizarre things are happening straight face, and you kind of have this what the hell reaction watching this.
Literally my favorite scene in the whole movie is the very beginning when they're shooting them. They're shooting them on the scooter, and it's this long tracking shot. And Ray Lovelock, Blondie boy, beautiful man. He's on the back, and he keeps having to switch positions to keep his face in the camera. But there's this one section. It's maybe 15 seconds long, 30 seconds long. It's too long. But they keep going back and forth, and it almost looks like Mark is doing it on purpose. I can't tell. It's hilarious, though.
You know, it's interesting. People thought there was this whole kind of because there was a sequel planned, and it did not go through. And a lot of people said it was because of this scene, because Mark did not want. He thought he was being upstaged by Ray, and he was kind of trying to screw with them and move. And you know what's funny is the first time watching it, I didn't pick up on any of that. And then I watched the special features, and then I watched it again, and I could not stop laughing. It was constant.
Hilarious.
It's a couple times at the beginning, but you watch the whole sequence, it's almost, there's like 6 or 7 times when they just kind of go back and forth, and it's crazy.
Right. I think Ray should have just stayed behind and then let the director go, this looks terrible, do it over again. But the jockeying back and forth is freaking hilarious.
It's the best part of that.
Yeah.
I love their hair going back though. It's very dreamy, and like the
looks on their faces too, just like, I don't care about anything. How's my penis?
I don't know. It's in the back of me on the motorcycle. But, you know, I don't think you see guys do this much anymore. They don't really ride bikes like that. And not in movies.
They didn't before either. So
Dumb and Dumber, actually. Dumb and Dumber did it. There you go. Maybe that's how I came up with it.
Live like, I don't know. Okay, so they both ride on the back of one motorcycle. They work as partners. They share an apartment together. And this seriously is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, they even sleep in the same room. Like, not only they have an apartment, like, hey, that's your room, this is mine. We're going to sleep in the same room.
Right. They wear the same pair of underwear.
I don't know. At the same time.
It's off screen, but that's how they fit on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
They have no privacy. And, well, it's actually, like we've said before, they're more like these man children. My favorite. I keep saying that, but they're all my favorites. It's like my children. They have nudie pics on their walls, but...
I know what you're going to say.
Screw the nudes. We don't have time for the nudes. They've got a poster-sized, 2 of them, pictures of Pasquini. So the villain in their movie is on a poster in their apartment, and there's darts in it. They hate him so much, and that's...
They're never going to give up until they get a bullseye.
And that's how they, that's how they get the motivation to live like a man.
Within that apartment too, they don't even clean up after themselves. Like they have a maid, and they even joke about having sex with the maid's niece to get a rise out of her.
Hey, Rosa, where's your pretty niece that helped you out when you were sick? She cooperated in every way, from top to bottom.
And what a bottom.
And then they run out of their apartment.
Rosa cursing them. Oh my gosh. Throwing dishes.
Crazy boys.
Really, this movie redefines the buddy cop because they're inseparable.
I don't know does it define anything? It kind of undefines everything, I would argue. But
I hope we're selling you on this movie, folks, because it really is great.
I think another contributor to this odd tone is how this movie starts us off with its opening song. I actually grew to like it quite a bit. It's this idyllic, folksy sounding melody that turns into a little bit of rock. Kind of sounds like the Monkees or one of those kind of era bands.
It's actually a song that Ray Lovelock, the actor, wrote and sung for the movie. Yeah. No, I had it in my notes to talk about, but I'll bring it up here real quick. At home, if you want to, you can YouTube Maggie by Ray Lovelock at some point so you can hear what we're talking about.
It's Maggie all around, that one.
Maggie, well, we're going to get to it. But this song really does grow on you. And the story behind it, Ray liked to play a lot of guitar on set during his downtime and was, kind of always meddling around with songs. And Ruggero heard this one and liked it. So they recorded for the movie and he used it as the opener. And I'm going to read this quote from Ruggero. I wanted the film to have a cop movie feel to it like those American ones like Bonnie and Clyde. In fact, Ray Lovelock's songs softened the film's tone. Every time there was a violent scene, one of his ballads came on and it helped things flow along. I wanted it to be watchable. This is a rule I stuck to in my later films too, such as Cannibal Holocaust, which had a lot of melodic music.
I'm not sure anything. I'm not sure anything can soften the Holocaust. That's a hard watch. That turtle scene is pretty tough. I was also thinking maybe that's why Mark was trying to like cover Ray up in the beginning, because if they're doing so much dubbing,
Yeah.
maybe he could have played it off like he was singing that song.
No, I just think Mark Prell wanted his big fat face in front of Ray's. He's like, don't upstage me.
Did you ever notice the zit on the back of his neck? It's there. It's bugging me.
No, I didn't.
All right.
But I think Ray probably should have popped it for him, man. Like, again.
If you were a true friend.
And I want to talk about the actual motorbike chase sequence for a second. Absolutely amazing and really long.
I timed it. It's about 6 minutes, and it's not about, it's exactly 6 minutes and 12 seconds of action.
It's super energetic, and that's what I think is so cool is it embraces sound design over the score. And this is Ruggero's only Eurocrime film, and maybe that's why it's so different. I feel like if it had been a stock director, maybe this would have been wall-to-wall music. And it definitely, look, it definitely does have that telltale Eurocrime funky chase music that's in it, but that's only in the middle. And the main parts of it are all sound design. For about 2.5 minutes, the sound was like the whines and the engine burps of the motorcycles. You got the car horns, tire squeals, Joel burping, pedestrian screams. The realism of it makes it that much more intense. And once you get out of the city and onto the freeway, or maybe they call it motorway, I'm not sure, but that's when you get the music. But that high adrenaline burst of reality in the beginning really sets it up, and to me, it sets it apart from other films at that time.
So great opening to the film. The rest of the movie kind of wallows back and forth between either exciting action sequences, or we just take way too long on expository setup with their boss. Their boss, by the way, the bad guy from Thunderball.
Thunderball.
He's like a floating face. He's just sort of there.
Overinflated and just hanging around.
He just orders food.
Can we just touch on that training exercise real fast? That is worth watching by itself.
If you need a chuckle, watch this scene. There's this quarry or ravine that Mark and Ray go to. They set up all these soup cans and then shoot at each other while they spin like Tasmanian devils, narrowly missing one another as they jump and leap and shoot like Shazah. I'm not doing it justice. It's so ridiculous.
Many soup cans lost their lives that day.
Watch it. They couldn't even. This is harder to watch than that turtle scene. Too many soup cans.
Campbell's Cream of Bullets. And look, and let's not forget, as they're doing this, a bunch of hired killers are sneaking in on them, trying to ambush them.
Right. Bad idea, because these guys should have paid more attention to the target practice.
Didn't they notice all these cans didn't stand a chance against these deadly ballerina moves?
I would argue if you look at the actors, their faces kind of look like cans, so they just kind of like, anyways.
Oh, fun's over for a little bit because we got to get back to that sex drive right now and how it relates to the women in the film. We warned you about some of the warts in the genre.
As much as we've talked about it, we've barely talked about it.
No, I know. So let's just get through these real quick. This one's pretty warty. There's no meaty or worthwhile female roles in this film, except a very small one, which Thunderbore's secretary, whose name is Norma. So they're at her desk waiting to see Thunderbore, and they're fawning over Norma, and she's telling them about the upcoming cases, and they ask, who gets it? And she replies like, oh, you'll have to ask the captain. And to which they cheekily reply, no, I mean, which one of us gets to go to bed with you? just out of nowhere. Like, what? They weren't even talking about this. And I think it's really interesting because it's such a pig-headed and ugly comment, but she really kind of just goes with it, saying she could screw one of them first and then the other, and then carries on with this long-winded monologue that really kind of cleverly inverts the innuendo against them, saying women can outlast all of men's orgasms and still not be sexually satisfied, and women can look past men's failures in bed if they love them, but she's really not in love with them. She's kind of really like this, modern day feminist.
Man.
Yeah. Well, she has a feminist attitude, and progressive and stuff like that. And what's their response? Okay. So we get to go to bed together, but who gets it first? I mean, it was just like, after all that, oddly, the small role of Norma, they give the strong character, who's actually probably stronger character than our two leads, and it really empowers her for this brief little moment. It gives some credence to the fact that maybe women are superior to men, But nah, that we're gonna negate that right away because hey, we men can't be bothered with all those details. Just tell us about the sex that we're gonna get. And look, the reason I bring that up is because we're talking about the hormones of our lead characters. Because
I think the hormones are the lead characters.
They really are, because and they make them fail at the climax of the film. No pun intended. It's an unclimax, actually. These hormones.
We've all seen films that invert the happy ending. Our heroes can fail or die. It doesn't always work out to plan. But I can't recall a film that has an ending where this happens.
I don't mind when heroes fail. It's actually kind of refreshing or tragic, especially when it's their character flaw that does them in. But in this movie, is that flaw their sex drive?
It's their Pasquini.
It's their immaturity. Yeah, because, like an informant tells them where Pasquini is. This is the ending. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to tell you everything, but...
Spoiler.
Yeah, here it is.
Spoilers away.
You want this to be spoiled because I was kind of like, what? That's the ending? An informant tells them where Pasquini is, and they all enter this fishing boat, which is on the harbor, and the only person they find inside is his Swedish girlfriend. And, they're there, they're standing around, they're perplexed, and then all of a sudden, Mark and Ray shoot each other this, hey, what else are we going to do kind of look? And they pull down the Swedish woman's robe all of a sudden, and who just starts kissing them back.
Yeah, she just leans into it.
But the crazy thing is they walk right into Pasquini's trap, right?
Right. So they walked into Pasquini's. Can't even say it. They've walked into Pasquini's trap because he's hiding out in his shed with this big old Wile E. Coyote bomb trigger. He's going to kill them all. But there's this loud boom and you think he's done it. But no. Pasquini has been shot and killed by Mark and Ray's boss,
Thunderboar.
I'm 100% convinced that they rewrote, reshot, re-edited. Something about this ending is so freaking off. I think they ran out of paper. I don't know what happened, but this ending it's unfortunate that we're spoiling it because it's so fucking stupid. It's the dumbest ending I've ever seen, and it ends dumber than that.
We'll get to that one last part, but the weird thing is like these characters, they didn't do anything. They fail because they're horny, and then they don't even care that they almost died. There's no self-reflection moment, and nothing falls on them. And it's very rare that you see a movie where your main character does nothing to solve the problem and then doesn't care about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. The whole every action scene that they're involved in, they just sort of show up and kill everybody. They're elite at that. But I'm just thinking about it right now. The title is Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Maybe they had him die. And they're like, no, we can't kill him off. So they had to come up with re-edit this bullshit ending. And so they just kind of like kiss each other. And
no, it's weird because I actually read that the original title was Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Cop, which is kind of gives a different meaning, but it does.
But they don't die.
But they don't die. No,
right. But they should have died.
Well, or they should have done something that has them do anything besides be hornballs, because we're gonna get to the best part of this ending, folks. Which number one, it's unfulfilling. They don't do anything to get out of trouble, but they have no problem smiling. And I don't know if did we say Thunderboar was the guy who came to their rescue? Okay, so and then he drives off and they say bye-bye. And what do? They want to go, plunge down.
The plunger we're talking about is the
Dynamite Acme.
Right, and they blow up the boat.
They don't blow up the boat because they couldn't afford to blow up a boat.
Well, they don't blow up the real boat, but their special effects team happened to know somebody that had a kid who owned a boat. It seemed like a $7 boat.
Santa's elves were going to be pissed because they worked on that boat all summer.
All summer. And that was a hot summer. So they blow up this toy boat, and the last shot of the movie is this explosion of a toy boat.
Someone's pool, I think. And they freeze frame it.
They freeze frame it.
At the height of the explosion.
Right. There's no hiding the fact that this was a children's toy. This movie goes out
on a bang.
Kind of a poof.
It definitely was a poof. Look, I think a throwaway character, a housemaid, has a very thought-provoking line of dialogue that asks the best question of the film. What are we coming to when they let common criminals join the police? Maybe this is the theme of the whole movie, or if not, maybe it should be.
Deep thoughts. All right, on to the second part of our double feature.
Street La! Directed by Enzo G. Castellari. Released in 1974 and starring Franco Nero. In Genoa, crime rules the streets, and even though engineer Carlo Antonelli, played by the debonair Franco Nero, has had some past runs with criminals, life is good. Or at least it is, until he goes to the bank and a robbery happens. 3 vicious thugs come in, raise hell, and when things go awry, they take Franco Nero hostage, beat the stuffing out of him, and then leave him behind as they escape the police. And guess what? When the police don't do anything to help him, Franco Nero vows revenge to make sure the bad guys answer for their crimes. But Nero doesn't even know how to start, and when he tries to penetrate this criminal underworld, he's terrible at it and fails repeatedly. But he soon photographs a young robber named Tommy as he's committing a crime and blackmails him into helping. The cat and mouse relationship between Tommy and Nero is antagonistic at first, but it develops into this true friendship kind of over the film, and this bromance really becomes the backbone of the story and will ultimately lead Franco and Tommy into this violent showdown with the trio, where there'll be plenty of bullets and blood and death, and where the only law that matters is Hila! What do you think about this film, Joel?
So I've watched it twice now. The first time I watched it, it felt like it took a week to get through. And so many stops and starts, the pacing for me was a problem. But the second time, I love this movie.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a turnaround.
180.
I don't know what I was missing the first time, but this is a special movie. That you got the action and you got the story, but there's something so unique about it, where this sort of everyman who's kind of stumbling towards a goal, and he's frustrated with the law enforcement that's not helping him out at all.
Yeah.
And so he takes matters into his own hands. But the way it's written is the story earns that. He doesn't just turn into Commando. He like fails forward a little bit.
He fails repeatedly until he actually achieves something. But
Right.
it doesn't take any shortcuts, and that's what I think is,
which was tedious the first time I watched it, and this time I really appreciated everything about it. I mean, there's definitely some cheesy moments here and there, but I liked Tommy a lot more in this too. He was actually kind of an endearing guy.
He's endearing, but you know what's something weird about the Tommy character is he feels like a 40-year-old Frankie Avalon in his Letterman jacket.
Right, back to the beach.
And he's supposed to be a college kid. And it didn't feel like someone who had taken the wrong turns in life.
I'm convinced in like the 60s and 70s, there was no age of 20. You just kind of went from 18 to 30. Just had a beard and a house and sideburns.
Totally. Hey, so, there's something I want to get out in front of real quick, so I'm not too much of a hypocrite.
Go for it.
When someone says to me, hey, you got to check out this TV show. It's great. You're going to love it, but you have to get through like 4 episodes before it starts to get any good.
Right, no.
I'm like, you get 10 minutes, man. Like, I don't have time to sit down and watch, 4 hours of television before I like something. And for me to say, I thought Street Law was really good the first time, but I had a lot of problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the second time, and I've watched it 3 times now. Like,
cheater.
I love it. It is the one thing that I say, if you like it at all, you'll like it way more the second time. And I think it's some of the acting that maybe you kind of got to get through, or just like and what you talked about, the start and stop go.
Something that I noticed this time, which I don't know why I failed to notice, or at least consider, is that he's the only one with an accent in the movie. And I wonder if that added to him coming off across a little bit more extra or whatever. Subconsciously clashes a little bit.
Yeah, but going back to the whole Italian film industry, everyone was re-looped no matter what. But I think it's fantastic that Franco Nero looped his own part.
Right.
And obviously his second language is
Yeah.
language is I don't know.
It's American. But He is a little melodramatic. He's not the world's greatest actor, but he's good, and he's really good in this.
I semi disagree, but
I would argue that I would bet you money that most people that watch this would say he's a little melodramatic.
But would they say it the second time? That's my question.
I think they'd say it was better, but he's a little melodramatic.
Well, since we can't agree on this, let's just move on to the director, the amazing and ultra talented Mr. Enzo G. Castellari. Woo! I love this guy. And I found out he was really inspired by John Huston, the American film director. And John Huston had this mantra about filmmaking, which is the first and last 15 minutes of a movie have to be good. And if you have those, then you have a movie.
Right.
And I do think this film adheres to that because the opener and ending are totally banging. But somewhere in the middle of Street Law, it starts to get a little clunky. But I think that's because of the story they're telling.
It's a clunky story. That's the thing. It actually works. The first time I saw it, it was clunky, like functionally. This time I understood that, well, yeah, because he's going through the process of trying to attempt to become, Bruce Willis, Schwarzenegger.
I think the montage of him trying to figure out,
driving all around.
Yeah, driving all around and how to get into this underworld and all the criminals and how they outsmart him. And it's like 2 or 3 times, like the criminals are smarter than him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very kind of like Jackson Pollock, how Enzo G. Castellari puts the scene together. It's very abstract, voiceover. When you see him looking out, at people, but there's no talking and they're overlapping dialogue and dialogue.
Yeah, it was artistic, but it wasn't like beating you over the head with his artsy choices.
The movie's intro, for example, it was not originally scripted, basically showing how much crime is dominating Italy.
Right.
And Enzo actually took all these scenes from the front pages of the Italian newspapers at that time. And when you watch this film, this really pulls you in. Like this scene with this song and the slow-mo of people getting shot or beaten up,
Yeah.
I'm in. I want to watch this film because he knew this had to be communicated to the audience.
Yeah.
So that happens. We're going to meet Franco, Mr. Baby Blues. Here he is.
Right. So he shows up at a bank, and then there's a big bank robbery, so it kind of continues the montage, but now you have a character that, you're kind of introduced to. And then he gets kidnapped because he kind of defends himself. And then they beat the crap out of him, and that's kind of what sets our story in pace.
There's 3 bad guys these are going to be the guys that Franco Nero is going to try to track down later.
And one of them looks like a seagull, the blonde guy.
I think he looks like a young Rod Stewart.
Right. I think Seagull is apt.
A hungover seagull-ish.
Hungover seagull. Yeah.
Rod Stewart. The other guy looks like a young Peter Jackson for some reason.
Okay.
And then the other guy.
Then there's another guy that you just can't remember.
No, the other guy to me looked like a unibrowed version of Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden.
I think Bruce Dickinson is unibrowed. So it might have just been.
Maybe it's him. Maybe this was him, like between they were making records or something. I don't know.
One thing that I thought was semi-unique or actually pretty special about this movie was there was no like big boss. There was no Pasquini in this movie. The bad guys were they're barely in it, really. You don't know what their motives are. It doesn't matter because it's all about Franco, right? But they're kind of like ghosts. They sort of like pop in and out and kind of terrify him. And I wouldn't necessarily say they're terrifying, but they definitely terrify Franco. And I just thought that was a very wise decision by the writers or directors to kind of like make them very elusive. They're a great white buffalo. They're hard to find, hard to track, and they're pretty sinister when they show up.
Yeah, I think when you said ghosts, I think that really hits it because
apparitions.
Yeah, he's haunted by what happened, right? By this horrific event, and he can't get over it, right? He's got Barbara Bach saying, his girlfriend saying, hey, you need to move past this. It's not going to be good for you. And he smacks her. Right. And then you have him pretty much flaking out on his job. He's overly consumed by these ghosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all he wants to do, and he even has Tommy say, let it go, man. Like, thanks for believing in me, but let it go.
Right.
And he's like, no, I have to see this through. My pride is on the line.
Right.
And then when they finally get there and they park, right? And he's like, what are you doing? Right. And then all of a sudden the door rips
Faces
open.
pop in.
And
Yeah.
Rod Stewart's there,
Right.
right? The ghost of Rod Stewart. And he looks at him. He can't do anything. There's no action. There's no words. He is
Right.
terrified.
Petrified.
He's
Yeah.
petrified.
Right.
And he's finally faced what he's chasing, and he can't come to terms
Right.
with it.
Right. He doesn't know.
And they kick the shit out of him.
Right. And that's what happens.
Take a mud bath, buddy.
Right.
And yeah, I
That's
thought
street law right there.
Street law, and it was fantastic. And then you don't see him for a while again after that.
Because they're sparse, there's something more sinister about them to me.
Forever young.
Not Tommy.
But speaking of Tommy, he and Nero's arc. The one great thing I want to say about this is
you get one.
Listen, here it is.
You get
Here it
one
is.
great thing, and
I
then you
got
get a
one
couple
great
stupid
thing,
things.
Is the evolving relationship between the Tommy character and Franco Nero, because it's something that really holds this film together.
Totally.
This movie more so than To Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man, because he blackmails Tommy and they're kind of at each other's throats, and then they're trying to outsmart one another, and until finally there's this real kind of connection there.
Well, that's
what brings me in.
Yeah, this is the true love story of the movie and the writing is not the best. The story's great, the movie's great, but some of the dialogue is a little, I thought they were going to do a better job until they got to like the revenge part. That's when Tommy kind of lectures him, which Tommy kind of had a point where he's like, basically he was coming from, I'm just a 40-year-old college student, just pulling pranks and having some fun. I'm not trying to murder anyone.
That was great about him. He was
Yeah.
just like, I am just a small-time hood.
Yeah, I'm a douchebag.
Yeah.
I accept that about myself.
But I don't cross the line at murder.
Right. So back to Tommy, and when they're driving in the car, and Tommy, he basically says, I'm with you. And Franco lights up, and he's like, to the end? To the very end? He's like, yeah, to the end. And that's when it's like, you really connect that bond. That's when they become friends.
Yeah. It's a beautiful little moment.
So one thing I read, Franco did.
You read?
I have people read for me.
Oh,
but
okay. I wasn't sure.
one thing someone read out loud was that Franco did almost all of his own stunts. And
Yes.
you could tell.
And he was a fast runner. Did you know that?
He could outpace a Mustang.
He did. I don't know if you guys know this, but Franco Nero, I forgot the number, but Franco Nero and Enzo G did probably like 8 or 9 movies together, something like that.
Mm.
And Franco tried to say that in almost every single movie we've done, Enzo writes a scene where I have to run fast. He's outpacing the Mustang. Young Peter Jackson's nipping at his heels in this Mustang. And by the way, this is the scene where you can tell Enzo is a fan of American films, and especially Sam Peckinpah.
for sure,
the way the scene is put together with the frenetic cutting, cutting back and forth in between regular motion and then slow motion, just the ultra slow motion, where Franco Nero is just kind of upended by this car, and it just spins around him and just kicks up all this dust, and he falls on his head, and it's this just amazing action sequence.
Yeah, no, it moves really well. Yeah, I'll let you take this away.
Well,
all I can say is it's good.
No, I mean, especially when he gets knocked over by the car, and then he somehow gets up onto the hood of the car, and then we're looking at him through this dirty windshield, and he's clutching for his life onto these like bent windshield wipers, and his eyes are wide and blue and crazy.
Right.
You're just like, what's gonna happen to him, and then him picking up a shovel finally and slamming it through this windshield that Enzo cuts with 3 different cameras,
Right, like an echo shot.
Yeah, an echo shot. That's how it's,
Yeah.
and it's like because it's overlapping the same action. You see the window break 3 times. Actually, it was really cool. It was really, I thought, unique, and I don't feel like a lot of films do that today. I feel like Enzo is a huge action film director that's not talked about enough, and I feel like he was like the Michael Bay of that era.
Yeah, right. So a couple things happen. The bad guys end up with Tommy. They got the damsel in distress.
Yeah,
and this is pure exploitation. Just one of the best scenes I've seen in a long time, where they find Nero's hideout. They're like, "Get out of there! Come out!" And Nero refuses to come out. and they start bashing Tom. There's like he's like underground in a little bunker type apartment, and there's like some grating and
Well, this is the factory though. Sorry.
Okay, this is the factory. All right.
Yeah.
And there's like small windows like
Yes.
in a row. And so they take Tommy's head and they start smashing his head through the window.
In slow-mo.
Right. And fast mo and every mo you want. And yeah, it's grisly, but it's just that kind of like, oh yeah, that's a creative way to get grisly. So that's fun.
Then it has another montage of Franco Nero running.
Right.
And he goes through
through
this factory, right?
That's a beautiful shot.
Enzo really loves shooting in factories and these big spaces, I think. Going back to with the shovel, how it overlaps the action, right?
Right.
Like these lights turn on in this amazing, fantastic looking grid.
And Lonely Nero's right in the middle, kind of small.
And it keeps cutting back farther and farther, so you see the size and the wide open space of what Nero's standing in. But at the same time, it's like all these amazing shots. But I think it's also telling you like Franco
He's all alone.
is alone,
Right.
and there's no place to hide from these bad guys. And I think the shootout is one of the best shootout endings I've seen because it stays emotionally consistent with the characters.
It gets sinister though.
And how it gets sinister is they kind of pretty much play like cat and like not cat and mouse, but they
Yeah, because they're the cat and they release Tommy to.
He's this like wounded mouse that they put out in the middle in the clearing. They put it out in the factory and they're pretty much like, come get him. Right. Like if you want to save your friend, and they keep taking shots around him, almost hitting him, and Franco's kind of
getting stressed out,
like,
but he doesn't know what to do.
And then they start shooting Tommy.
Right.
Like they start taking shots at his limbs. They shoot him like I think 4 times.
Right.
And Franco still doesn't move, which I think is phenomenal that they went this way.
Right.
Because he's scared. This is the finale of the movie, and he's still scared.
Mhm.
And his friend, his love interest, you should say, because there's really no love interest with the female in this, who's Barbara Bach. This is like
That's fun. Barbara Bach.
Barbara Bach.
It's nice. Barbara Bach.
But the love interest is Tommy, to put it bluntly. And he's out there getting shot.
Right.
And Franco just can't seem to move. And even I think Tommy screams out like, do something.
Yeah.
And then he finally says, and thank goodness he's got a shotgun because he sprays far enough.
Yeah.
And then Tommy just kind of starts sliding himself across the floor. He's just shot to hell.
Right.
He's got all this blood kind of snailing behind him, and he's only using one hand to pull him forward with, and he gets up
Just
in
his
this.
chin. Just dragging himself along.
And then Rod Stewart gets it right in the chest from good old Franco because he did that. But not before Rod Stewart can kill Tommy.
Right. Gets a couple in the back.
Oh, man. It was brutal. But the great thing I think that Enzo did was, I think there's the shot of Franco after everyone's dead, and he's kind of looking towards the tractor. And the tractor was what Tommy had crawled into to help kill Bruce Dickinson, and then that's where he got shot by Rod Stewart. And I think it's such a great scene because he doesn't know if Tommy's dead.
Mhm.
I mean, he thinks he is, but he's not sure. And it's that fear, like the weight of my consequences,
right in front of me,
are upon me, and like
2 steps, I'm going to find out.
I did everything, but I don't care. Like he's not rejoicing in the scene.
Right.
He's got his revenge.
And here's the cost.
But when he opens the door to the tractor, and Tommy just slumps out and falls in his arms. And then, the ending of this movie is, if you've seen Romeo and Juliet, it's not that. He doesn't commit suicide, but it's almost as painful because there has been this love relationship between them. Not love, but like, bromantic relationship. And you can tell Tommy's dying.
Mhm.
And Franco says, you're gonna be
He starts
fine."
talking about the body shop that he wants.
That's right. Yeah, the body shop, which they set up earlier in the movie when they finally kind of start to bond, and Tommy opens up a little bit, that he wanted to open Italy's biggest auto repair shop if he could just get a new start in life. And Franco kind of takes pity on him and says, oh, well, I'll invest in you. So there's this bonding moment with them earlier in the film. And it's brought up again here as he's dying.
Right.
And he opens his eyes and looks around and says,
man, you found the biggest garage around I've ever seen. It's
As
like,
he's sweating blood everywhere.
and then Franco chimes in. Yeah, over here is gonna be where you all the cars are packed in tight, and you're gonna have all these lovely ladies asking for Tommy, and over here is gonna be where your snacks are.
We're gonna have lots of snacks.
Is it like a popcorn machine? Are they gonna have like free popcorn bags, or what kind of snacks is he talking about? I don't know.
I think spaghetti. Spaghetti in a bag.
They only eat spaghetti in bags. But
Totally.
then when Franco realizes Tommy is no longer with him, he has this absolute heart-wrenching scream. And I disagree with you because I think maybe the first time I laughed, but the second time and the third time, man, that
Incredible.
scream hits home. It's not the cliche, no. It's not that. It is from the gut, man. It's
From the diaphragm.
Oh my gosh. It is like he is this wounded animal and his heart's been ripped out and Juliet is dead. And it gets me every time.
Right. Yeah. If we have any fans out there, and you guys post on our Instagram or
the twits,
let us know. Cause I think it's 2 steps away from a toy boat.
Never. No, not my Franco.
But it's earned.
Enzo G. Castellari winds this film down in the police department as Franco's getting lectured by the police.
Another
scolding. And he's like, sign this paper if you don't want us to press charges that you'll never say anything against the police department. Otherwise, they're going to press charges against him for all these dead people they found in this factory. And as he's leaving the police station, he overhears another cantankerous old citizen screaming about the injustices of the police department, saying like, this is like my 4th time being robbed or whatever, and maybe I should finally do something about this myself. And it ends, Nero looking at him, and just as the hint of a smile starts to come, as you see the baby blues burning into your soul, it freeze frames, and it goes back to
Yeah.
And you get that song going again, and man, and that's what it is. So it's basically saying
confetti comes down from the ceiling.
But it's this. It's
fireworks go off in your living room.
But it's the it's hearkening back to the Italian title of this film, The Citizen Rebels. It's almost like this call to arms for the moviegoer. Like, hey, this is our country. Like we live in Italy. We're proud citizens, but no one's doing anything about it. So how are we going to stop this crime?
Right.
By watching this film and then going and doing something about it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. So we liked it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Watch it 3 times.
I guarantee.
And if you're sitting there thinking, didn't you just say all these Italian movies are derivative of American films? So Street Law is like the Italian ripoff of Death Wish, that crime subgenre of vigilante films. The answer is no, because these films were actually made around the same time and independent of each other. And although they have some similarities, they're both very different films. So don't even ever try to tell Enzo G. Castellari that he ripped off that movie, because he's going to say, I did Street Law first.
He's going to put out a death wish on you.
He's totally going to do it. But I just think that, even around the world, more than one filmmaker felt like they had to tell the story of a citizen having to resort to vigilantism to see their wrongs set right. But as for Eurocrime as a whole, even if the majority of these films kind of feel derivative, who cares?
Yeah, these are awesome movies. I like that they try to answer like serious crime problems either by means of bizarre fantasy of violence, or
led by a secret squad that lived like cops and died like men,
or by the thought-provoking action drama of one man's quest for street law in a failed justice system.
By the way, who would you take in a street fight? Would you take Charles Bronson or Franco Nero?
I don't know, man. Charles Bronson's got that like stoic rage. But Nero's got that drama. He's gonna rip your face off. I think I might have to go with Nero in this one.
I was gonna say like the wrinkled mug of Charles Bronson might be more imposing, but then the laser beam orbs of bright blue eyes is just gonna
Right.
penetrate his soul.
Right. I feel like Bronson could choke you out, but Franco Nero will pull your hair and scratch your eyes out.
Oh. And then maybe you'd have Mark Perel and Ray Lovelock coming in at their scooter at the last minute.
They'd just watch.
And then kill both people.
Right.
So that's pretty much our show. If you like what you heard, or even if you didn't, go ahead and drop us a line on Twitter at ThunderamaDome. Follow us on there.
Or on our Instagram account, same name of ThunderamaDome. Or check out our webpage, ThunderamaDome.com, where you can check out our show notes.
Yeah, you're going to love it. You can give us your praise. You can even give us your hate. But what we won't take is your piss torture.
Hey, wait a minute. We never told them what that movie was.
What movie?
The Eurocrime film with the horrific death in the documentary that you said made you think of that question.
We totally forgot that. I don't know. Maybe we just leave it. Do we need to end on a bad note like that?
I don't know, man. We can't tease and not deliver. I feel like you got to say it.
All right. You say it.
All right. It's Rico the Mean Machine. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Especially if you're packing
Pasquini.
So this is how we normally end the show, just kind of sailing off into the sunset. But we couldn't get enough of Eurocrime. So we whipped up something special for you. And if you couldn't get enough of it either, keep listening.
Hello, Tonsy.
Thought you might telephone this evening.
I have to take a piss.
Let him take his piss. And bring him back in here right away.
How do I live then? Can you afford to give me $1 million a month? Pay to rent?
Don't give me that bullshit. Let's get out of here. Whose cappuccino is this?
Leave it be. That cappuccino's mine. You might as well have it. You put your grubby hands all over it.
I'm gonna put them all over your punk face. Wait a minute, not you two.
No. Hey, look, mister, give me a break, huh?
You didn't give the old man a break, did you, you fucking shit? Just forget what you saw. Me, him, forget everything.
Hey, mother. I got a real quick nickel-plated lead message from the Chinaman for you. Son of a bitch.
Jesus Christ, come on. You mean you believe that kind of bullshit? I thought you were intelligent. God damn it, man. I arrested those two last week. Why the devil would they let out again? It's completely crazy. They make us sweat to bring them in. Then before the ink's dry on the charge sheet, some idiot says they can go. Say cheese. Cheese.
What's all this about? You worried about me?
No. Me? Come on, I was kidding. And believe me, you're gonna sing loud and clear, one way or the other.
But what about my rights to call my lawyer?
My reason for joining the police was to catch criminals, not to make out files all day. What the hell makes you think I'm interested in an application? Crap like you ought to be put in a home and castrated. Kabuto! No!
My God, do you realize what you've done? Think, man. They'll make the St. Valentine's Massacre look like a baby's birthday party.
Now, you listen to me, Guido. I know the Chinaman better than my hand. I wish I'd shot the bastard just now. If you want to make me the scapegoat of this killing, go ahead, Commissioner. But just do it, don't stall.
You can lower your voice.
Why? Are you afraid somebody will hear us? Go ahead if you want to ruin my career. Leo, leave my reputation and integrity alone. Listen. My integrity and reputation. I'd know your mug anywhere, buddy.
You again? You must have a special magnet that attracts trouble. Jesus. I mean, I really can't believe they wrote the script this way.
I hope you heard that, because the story was so bad in this movie that even the Looper made fun of it, and nobody noticed.